Hello guys, I can't believe the 2010s are over, and it's pretty cool because it's the first decade I was actually able to experience in full conscience. Or so I think. This was also the decade in which I became interested in cinema and in being a filmmaker, so it's a great pleasure for me to present this list. Okay, I'll start with number 10, The Tale of Princess Kaguya. Yes, I believe animated movies should be taken into account on these lists too. And this precise film is just so full with magic and beauty, it's impossible to leave it out. The art style is simple and effective, and the themes of existence and love for life and nature are just so reminiscent of traditional Japanese cinema that I couldn't help but love it. Number 9. The Tree of Life. Malik's masterpiece is a voyage in time, quite literally. The exceptional cinematography of Emanuel Lubezki takes us back to the beginning of the universe and lets us experience it in all its glory. It demands patience, of course. The part of the movie that actually has got a storyline is fragmented and ambiguous, but at the end I think that's the point of art, a subjective experience, an internal truth. The Tree of Life is like looking at different points in a person's life without really knowing all the details. It's just the emotional part, which concerns us all as humans, that we need to feel. Number 8. Ida. A great piece of cinema that reminds me of the great European filmmakers like Bresson or Dreyer. Its form and narrative are impeccable, but it's the psychological exploration of the main character that really is worth the acclaim. I think it really applies to anyone who is looking for their place in the world, and anyone who questions our purpose, if any, in this universe. Number 7. The Lobster. I just love Lanthimos' style since Dogtooth, and I really think that his deadpan surreal style was polished in The Lobster. Not only is the movie funny and original as hell, but it actually goes deep into themes such as social views on relationships and our needs for affection. It's sarcastic and weird and smart, and I love it. Number 6. A Separation. If anything, Asghar Farhadi has demonstrated to be a master in storytelling. The characters in this movie are always deep, interesting, and real. The events in the movie take some time to develop, but that's a good thing. This patient observation allows us to know the main characters better and understand their motivations in the difficult, heartbreaking situation they must face. Number 5. Phantom Thread. This lovely piece explores the complexity of human relations in the very subtle environment of haute couture. And that's what the film is, a beautifully woven piece of art. The music by Johnny Greenwood is very appropriate to the setting. The photography is top-notch and, oh god, Daniel Day-Lewis gave the performance of his lifetime. Such a great way to go. Number 4. Son of Saul. A devastating work which explores the Holocaust in a very real, subjective manner. The movie follows Saul, a Sonderkommando, which must find redemption by burying the corpse of what appears to be his child. The camera usually follows him around in very long takes, and the only way for us to know what's going on is using our imagination. And oh boy is the movie suggestive. This is probably the best sound design I've ever heard in a movie in all the decade. Number 3. The Witch. As much as I love horror movies, I acknowledge horror cinema is quite frequently a piece of trash. So when The Witch was released, not only was I very surprised, but I also knew that something big was about to happen to the genre. And I was right. Think of all the great horror movies released in this decade alone, and I'm sure The Witch has got a lot to do with this sudden surge of quality. Anyway, The Witch is one of the few horror movies that I find genuinely scary, so as a horror movie it achieves its purpose by far. But it's also a beautifully and carefully crafted work of art. The slow descent into madness of the family is greatly portrayed, and all the historical accuracies just add up to its raw and authentic feel. Number 2. Amour. Oh yes, this is the kind of film that I don't like to watch often. Just remembering it makes me feel quite depressed. It's a very powerful portrait of love in old age, shown in all its painful detail. On the other hand, I really think Haneke explored all the possibilities of cinema in this, his absolute masterpiece. What I mean is, if cinema is understood as emotions told in images, Haneke really achieves it. It was also the last great performance by Emmanuel Riva, and Jesus Christ is it hard to take. Number 1. The Turin Horse. This is it, to me the greatest piece of cinema of the decade. It's a very slow, dark and nihilistic outlook on society's self-destruction. This is a non-narrative work of art which explores the monotonous and helpless lives of its main characters. and it's that void and total lack of meaning that is the gravitational force of the movie. It's definitely not for everyone, but you will probably enjoy it if you also like the works of Tarkovsky or Angelopoulos. Now the thing is, the Turin Horse is way more depressing and bleak than any movie by those two filmmakers, and any movie I've ever seen for that matter. I really think this is the purest form of cinema I've seen in the decade, and it's such a shame that director Béla Tarr won't continue making more films. So what do you think of the list? Is there any other movie you believe should be in it? Please leave it on the comments and I might check them out. I'll see you soon. Bye!